go ahead and go live. Hi friends, let me just adjust this just a second. All right, hi, how are you doing? This is Lindsay for Swing Design. I'm so glad you're here. I want to make sure that this is all set up correctly and you can hear me, so you can go ahead and say hi, or maybe you can let me know if you got a new cutting machine recently, and because I'm going to be sharing with you a fun and easy beginner vinyl project. So we're using adhesive vinyl, so like that sticky vinyl, to make some really cute clear acrylic keychains. So you can customize these, with any color of vinyl. I'm going to be customizing them with a font, so I'll be adding, a name to it. So these are really cute, and they're really quick to do too. So, and a great little project, because they're small, and if you mess up, then you can just, it's no big deal. So, I'm going to go ahead and tilt the camera down, and we'll go ahead and get started. So I'm going to be using my Cameo 4, which is right there. Oops, here we go. All right, so this is the Cameo 4. It's a 12-inch cutting machine, and this is what I'm going to be showing you how to make. So these are just like a clear acrylic circle. You can get them in any shape. And I put some oracal 651 vinyl over it, and I want to show you how I did that, but I am going to do something a little bit different this time. So what I did with this is I put the this vinyl background on it, and then I put the name over it, but you can kind of see in real life the layering, the different layers of the vinyl. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to put this background on the back and then the name on the front, so we can avoid that. But I also did this little piece here. So these are just really fun to make as little gifts, or just as a fun, like, a little project. So let's go ahead. I'm going to switch over to oh, hi Lanita, thanks so much for watching, and Donna's here. Hey, how are you? I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to my camera view so that you can take a look at the design that I'm using. So let's go to screen display. All right, and so here is what I want to create. And so this design, both the background here and all the elements there are actually a font. So you can see this is Silhouette Studio, the free software that comes with that you can download to use with your Cameo. I've upgraded mine, upgraded the software, so I have a few more features than what's in the free basic edition. But anyway, if you download a new font, it would show up in your text style panel, and this one is actually a mixed media font. So it's like what's called a dingbat font, and I'll show you. I typed out all the different letters, and you get like a different splash of color. So these could be really fun to use, not just for printing out, but some of these simpler ones are great for a little project like this, which you can cut out in vinyl. So I'm going to cut this piece out, and then this is a font as well. I used the Garden Fancy font. So if you like any of these designs, I have them linked in the description of this video. So I don't need to cut out this circle because this was just to, kind of get the placement and sizing of how I wanted this to look. But one thing I am going to do is I'm actually going to flip this design backwards because I'm going to be putting it on the back of the acrylic keychain and not the front. So I'm just going to right click and go to flip horizontally. And then I think I'll put that part right there and this part right here. And then I'll flip back to the camera so you can see me setting up my mat. So I got a brand new mat. Maybe you got, this will come with the machine, but maybe you got some new accessories too for your machine that you already had. But this is a nice brand spanking new sticky mat, and I am going to set it up how it looked on my computer. So I'm going to put the black vinyl in that corner there, and then I used teal in the software, but you could use any color. You could cut it out in any color you want, but that's the color that I want. So I'm going to use this piece. This is a piece of Oracal 651 permanent adhesive vinyl. So I need my scissors because I want to cut just a small section off, probably about like that much there. And then I also need black. So if you've got a lot of scraps, I keep all my scraps in like a little holder like this. These types of projects are perfect for using up all your little scraps too, because you can save them and use them, you know, to make little tiny little additions to these acrylic pieces. So I'm going to use some black as well. So that piece probably will be perfect. So I'm going to cut that and put then this scrap back in the little scrap container that I have. So this is a brand new mat, and I want to keep it as sticky as possible. So I'm going to show you something that I like to do when I'm only cutting a very small area is I'll take off this protective covering and I'll stick down my pieces of vinyl. So let's put that there, and then let's put this piece here. And then because I have long hair and I have a dog and a cat, if this exposed area is exposed for too long, it's likely there's going to be something that ends up on it. So I take the cover sheet and I just put it right back on. And I only do this for like a brand new mat that I want to keep sticky for as long as possible. I mean, I have an older mat and this would work as well. It just doesn't look as pretty. So I wanted to use a new mat. But there are ways to restick them if you want to. But I've gotten quite a few uses out of that other mat. So you can definitely use them over and over again. Okay, so I'm going to set this up here. I'm using the auto blade, which is this here. Sorry, it's not focusing. But what's cool about the auto blade is that you don't have to manually make any adjustments. You just slip it in there. Make sure that the blade is pushed all the way down and stick it in. And then you're going to load the mat into the machine like so. And then I will take you back to the computer here so that you can see the settings that I'm going to use. So let me go back to, here we are, to my Silhouette Studio program that I have open. So I'm going to go into the send panel, and I am going to I'm going to start with, well, first of all, I have my Cameo on, but the software hasn't detected it yet, so that's why it says that it's unavailable, but just give it a second, and yeah, there you go. It will let me know that they're talking to each other. Perfect. Syncing, and then it should say ready. There we go. Okay, so we know that they're talking to each other. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to start out as a baseline using the vinyl glossy setting. But just from like trial and error, I have found that the force of 10, especially with a blade that I've used many, many times, is just not working for me anymore. So I am actually going to bump this up to, I think I can go as high as a 28 and still get, it won't cut through the backing. So if you ever want to do a test cut, then there's the ability to do that, so you can test out that cut. But I've done this many, many times and found that it works really well. So I'm zoomed in here and I can see that the whole design is within the cut area, within those red lines. Same with this one. This one has some really tiny pieces, so those will probably get lost, but that I'm okay with that. But then I'm gonna go to send and go back to my camera, and it's going to start cutting it out. If you're just joining me, I'm using the Cameo 4. We are making some clear acrylic keychains. I mean, you could use a colored piece of acrylic too, but what I'm doing with these is I'm actually going to, because it's clear, put the background here on this side. It'll show through, and then I can put the name on the front, and there won't be, you can, in real life, you can kind of see that there's a difference where in the layers of the vinyl, so you can avoid that by with the clear piece by putting the background in on the other side. So, so then here I've also made this little piece too. So, and then you can just add your own little charms and jewels and things like that. And I'm using a Oracal 651 permanent adhesive vinyl. And this should just be finishing up now. Now the second thing that I like to do is I always like to do a test weed. So before I've even unloaded the machine out of the mat, you can take a weeding tool like these weeding hooks. I just use a sewing needle. That seems to work best for me. But I go into the design and I try to lift out a piece, and look how easily that came out. So now I know that when I take this out of the machine, I'm not going to have a problem. Hopefully, won't have a problem weeding it. If I had trouble lifting out the pieces, then what I could do is back in the computer, I could just send it again, and it would cut over those lines. I could probably adjust the cut settings a little bit deeper, or you know, whatever I needed to do to make that cut. But it looks like I have gotten a nice cut, so I'm going to go ahead and unload that. And then we're moving on to weeding. So basically it's just removing the excess vinyl around the design. So I'm going to quickly do that here. This is a scripty font, so I like to take out all the middles of the letters first, and then go ahead and just pull out the rest of the vinyl. Now what I could have done is in the software actually drawn just a rectangle around these for I could weed each part separately. They're called weeding boxes. But I forgot to do that, so I'm gonna just have to be extra super careful. So I am going to, sometimes what I'll do is I'll take out these little, they're not the middles of the letters, but they're like around the letter. I'll take that out first, and then I can take this part off and peel it up. Perfect. Awesome. And I purposely left the vinyl piece on my sticky mat because it helps to keep the vinyl, the backing down, which when I'm peeling off just the top, sticky vinyl, it just makes it easier to do that. And so I'm going to do the same thing over here. There were a few pieces there were some little innard pieces. So we'll take out those. And then I think I can just take this part off. Oops. There we go. Perfect, perfect. There was one more little piece over here. All right, so next you're going to transfer it to your acrylic piece. So when you buy acrylic pieces, they might come with like a little, maybe it's a clear covering. This is a craft colored back or a covering, and it's just to protect the actual piece. So you do have to peel that off. And then there's one on the other side too. And I'm going to move this down a little bit. There we go. So it's a little bit closer to me. So then I can just take off. Ooh, this mat is so sticky. Sometimes if you have problems getting the pieces off of your super sticky mat, you might have better luck if you peel the mat off of the paper or vinyl that you're using. And because I turned it over like that, I always put the cover back on so it doesn't pick up anything from my workspace. Okay, there we go. So I have that piece here, and then I can just and with the backing, there's like this waxy, really slick side, and then like a paper side. I put that glossy side down. And then what I like to do is I use a hole puncher, and I punch a little hole, just something like this, but bigger, obviously. And then I can hang it. I have a hook on the wall over here, and I can hang it up. So that's how I like to store mine. If you have any storage tips, please let me know. I know we can all help with organization, especially when it comes with all our crafting supplies or new little gadgets. So if you've got some storage or organizational tips, please share them in the comments. I am always happy to take a look at those. Okay, so next we need some transfer tape. So I have a roll of transfer tape here that I am just going to cut off a little bit. I don't need very much, so I could probably just cut off that much. And where did I put my scissors? Has anyone heard that quote that crafting is just about finding the item that you put down 2 seconds ago? All right, I found it. All right, and then I'm just going to cut it off. So your transfer tape might come with a paper backing to it, which is fine. There's different kinds of transfer tapes. This is just the transfer tape all on a roll, and there's no backing to it. Okay. Oh, Carrie says, I'm always looking for my scissors too. I know. No matter what I do, I put them down and then they're just gone. So now I'm going to cut another little piece off to use here for that. And you can reuse your transfer tape multiple times. So I'm actually only going to cut off one piece. And then this I'm going to save for another project. So I'll just wrap it around like that. Okay. And then your cameo probably came with like a little scraping tool like this. And that is your burnisher or your vinyl scraper. So here is my acrylic piece. I'm going to put this piece on first. So I'm going to put the transfer tape over the top and use my scraper to scrape it across the vinyl so I can get it adhered really, really well and burnish it really, really well. And then what you can do is either lift up the transfer tape to peel up the vinyl, or if you're having trouble getting the transfer tape to lift up the vinyl, you can peel the backing off of the vinyl itself. And so then you have the transfer tape with the vinyl, sticky side of the vinyl there. And then there's lots of different things that you can do to, sorry, that's the light from my camera, those two blue dots. There's lots of things you can do to get this all lined up and centered. I'm not going to do any of them. I'm just going to go for it and kind of look to see what looks best. And I think I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to set this side down first. Take my scraping tool and scrape this across and burnish it really, really well. And then you just peel off the transfer tape. Haha, perfect. Okay, so what I did with this one is I actually put the name across the top, but I'm going to try something different. I'm actually going to put the name on the back side. So I need to peel off this protective backing. And so here's the side I applied the vinyl. This is the other side. So then I can just put the name over there. Okay, so I'm going to reuse the same piece of transfer tape because you can get quite a few uses out of this. And do the same thing. Use my scraper to adhere the transfer tape over the vinyl, burnish it really well. And then I always peel the backing off. That's just kind of my habit that I've gotten into. And then, now if for something like the name where I actually might want to get it perfectly centered, I am going to do something, it's called like the hinge method. So I'm going to actually take that backing that I just took off and I'm going to put it back on. And then I'm going to cut around the design here. Just cut around the design. And so now what I can do is I could bring out a little ruler and you know, measure the distance. I can better see, you know, how I want this to look. And if you actually wanted to be to see what it might look like better, you can also use parchment paper. So here's a piece of parchment paper. I'll just cut out. It's just the stuff I got at the grocery store. And so now I can actually put this on and I can kind of see the backing behind it too. So that works well, but I'm gonna just use this vinyl backing here. And then you just need some like low tack tape. So like some painter's tape, or I just use washi tape. Not your good washi tape. Use your least favorite. Alright, put all the mess out of the way. Take this, and you would get that all lined up perfectly centered and everything, and then you take a piece of that tape and then tape right down the center of it. So then now what you can do is you can lift this part of the transfer tape up first, remove the the backing from that, and then use your scraper to push the rest of it down. And then you can take off that. Piece of washi tape. And then the little L came off, and that was my fault. So I'm just going to peel off the transfer tape now. And then this little L, I'm just going to put in there. But I like that a lot better than layering the vinyl on top of each other, because now I don't get that kind of look of the difference in even just that really thin difference between laying flat on here versus laying over another piece of vinyl. You can still see a little line. So I actually like this. This works pretty well. All right, so there is, I put the vinyl on the back here, and then I could even like maybe put something in here too. Just maybe right in there. But anyway, that's that. And then all you need to do from here is decorate it with all your favorite kinds of charms or jewels. You might need to get a piece, or not a piece, some jewelry pliers. Uh-oh. Am I not live anymore? Okay. Sorry about that if I cut out. I'm not sure if that cut out or not, but I'm going to keep going. So then you just open up the little ring, and then you can tie that back in. And then you close it same way. And there you go. And then I did the same thing with this little piece too. I cut out this from vinyl and I put it on there, and then these are just little tassels from the craft store. I think I got this keychain from the craft store too. So that is that. And I made this one earlier. And it's just a fun little project. You could make these really quickly. The acrylic pieces come in lots of different sizes. So there's lots of different projects that you could do to customize this as well. And of course you can cut out in any color of vinyl using any design, but if you like the designs I've used, these are actually fonts, even the splash of color too. So I've linked that in the description. So that is actually all I had. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera back, and I hope that here we go. So I hope that you have a wonderful day so far. Thank you so much for joining me. I always love doing these little projects. And of course, if you have any questions, we're always happy to help. And maybe if you make some of these acrylic keychains, then we would love to see the projects that you make as well in our Facebook group, our Swing Design Facebook group. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!